Okay, so what I want to show you today is something that I've been working on for Oracle Content Management's Site Builder. Now, today, unfortunately, the developer experience is not as streamlined as it could be compared to other CMSs out there. So, what I've built is a new solution that helps build sites for Site Builder and components much faster and makes it easier to test out. So, what you see in front of you is a basic site that I've thrown together, and each of these segments here are individual pieces of content. Individual components that are deployed on the site. So, just as an example, here's a header component that we've got at the top here. And if I go into Oracle Content Management Site Builder, you can see that we've got the component here. And this has been deployed from my local environment directly to OCM, compiled, and creates a component on the fly. Now, one of the cool things about this is that if I go into the custom settings within OCM, is these settings are generated on the fly based off of a JSON schema. So it gives developers the ability to quickly create settings forms just with a JSON data structure. So if they wanted a tabbed-based interface, they can create that. They can create input elements, drop-down lists, and lay it out as they would normally. So instead of writing, for example, using require.js and the render.js and pulling this all together and constantly rewriting the settings capabilities, now the developers only need to update a single file, and they can create and have automatic bindings to those to the app.json prop files of the component within OCM, and everything gets hooked up on the fly. So it makes things much faster on this side here. There's also the ability to associate an asset with the component. So, for example, here I can open up the content item. So this will just go straight into the OCM assets area and display information on that content. Or alternatively, I can copy the asset ID. So just click on that and paste it into there. That's the content ID. Or even select and associate an OCM asset. So this brings out the sites SDK, and then I can choose an asset that I want to associate with the component. And then I can obviously transform and update and enhance the OCM app that you see there. So with that said, let's go back to the developer environment and let's have a quick look at what I've been playing with and what I've pulled together. So as I said, this is a quick microsite. And what I'm going to do is I've got this quick menu. I'm going to swap into what I've called the playground. So within the playground, if you're familiar with Figma or Plasmic or other apps, it has the ability to display your site. And let's go to the home page. You can see here, I've got the home page displayed in 3 responsive viewports. So we've got the mobile on the left, tablet in the middle, and we've got the desktop on the right. And I have the ability to zoom out so that I can quickly analyze and see what's happening on this site and all of the different breakpoints that I've configured within the app itself. Now, what's good about this is these aren't screenshots. These are actually working sites. So it's a site essentially replicated 3 times here for different viewports. And what that allows me to do is directly from my developer environment, I can, for example, interact with, say, the navigation. So that's how it looks on mobile. Let's click over here. This is how it works on the tablet. And then let's have a look at how it works on the desktop. So it kind of streamlines and fades in. Now, I haven't created those pages. So if I click on any of these pages, let's go to, for example, the About Team section, you'll see it just brings us to a 404 within there. But if I was to configure and build out the other pages, they would obviously work and would respond and display and allow me to interact. So with that said, let's swap across back to the playground. And let's delve into the components themselves. So I'm on the playground page here, and you'll notice as I'm mousing over some of these elements, and these are all components, but some of these elements I've enabled the ability for other users to update the settings, or for me to test out the different settings across the different responsive viewports. So let's open up this component here. So I've got this standard toggle, and you can see as I click on these, as I click on these, I can interact and I can test out these different features, make sure that they're working. But what I also get is, as I mouse over, I get the name of the component. And then on the right here, we've got this kind of settings panel that if I click on, it pops out into here. Now, I was just playing around with the settings, so ignore this interface. It should look exactly like you saw here with the panel that pops out and this automatically generates. But I must have changed the flex layout yesterday, and so it's not correctly aligning. But essentially, this interface that you're seeing here within the settings panel automatically gets created on the fly. And I have that ability within my local developer environment. If I was to come out here, what's happened there? Let's just refresh. Oh, I realized, sorry. Within OCM, I have configured the IP rather than localhost to allow iframes to be loaded in. So let's go back. Let's go back to the playground. And what we'll do is we'll open up that settings panel. And here you can see the setting panel there, but let's bring back one that I can show you this associated asset. So when I click on this, it brings out the embedded OCM asset view. And what we can do here is we'll select an asset. I'm just going to select an image for now, hit OK. But what we can do as part of the schema is we can define the embedded UI custom properties that will automatically filter down these items based off of the asset type that I want to associate with my component. So anyway, well, let's select this image, hit OK. And you can see there, that's the image, and I can click open and it'll take me directly into OCM, just like we did before with Insight Builder. And here's the asset that you can see. What I also have the ability to do, and let's switch out of that view, and let's go back to the standard view here, is I can update the props. So again, if I click on here, and let's move this out of up here for now, but you can see as I toggle on and off this global prop settings, you can see all of the three areas are automatically being updated on the fly. So I can easily test out and see how this works across responsive view. And again, if I just want to toggle them separately just to test user interaction, I can do that. We can also change the name. Let's just say test. And again, because we are being in props, it just globally goes across all three of those. Now, on top of that, what I've created is, and this is just basic for now, but there's this little side panel that kind of flips out like this. And if I click on this, it allows me, and I've only just put in 3 components, but let's drag in a select box. And as I drag this select box about, what I can do is there's an empty slot that's suddenly appeared down here, but I can hover over, and just like with OCM, when you drag and drop components, you can see that I can drag into, I've defined 2 slots that I can drag into. I can't drag in anywhere else, only the 2 that I've created at the moment. So if I just drop this into this empty slot, you'll see automatically the screen resizes, but what I have now are these interactive select fields, and obviously I can customize them. If I go into here, I can change the data associated with them. So let's just change this label for now, and you'll see that that's automatically come across to testx2. So what about changing the components that are in the slots? So I can also do that. Let's take across a input, and let's just change this one. So that already had a component in, and now you can see this is how the component works across these 3 slots. Oh, actually, I made a mistake. Let's change that back to being a toggle, and then you can see the toggle is swapped into here. And what the plan will be is as you create different pages and whatever, you'll be able to toggle across them, view the pages, interact with the components, and test them out directly here. Now, let's go back to the playground and let's go to one of these components. You may have noticed this OCM deploy. So as I'm developing code and working on these components, instead of manually drag and dropping updated code into OCM, into the component, publishing, whatever, I can now click this button. And what this button will do is, once I'm happy with the component, the way it works, the way it looks, I click OCM deploy. And behind the scenes, it'll run the npm commands to automatically process that component and push that into OCM. So if I go into the component area, into view components, we've now got that component, that toggle component pushed directly into OCM that I can use within my site and automatically drag and drop it into the page. Now, what about development? Now you see you've got all of this here. Let me see if I can open up that page quickly, and just give me a second. Let me find that page. So if I go here, and we will right, let's put this down here. And what you can see, I've got this experimental title where Andy's Magic or whatever, but let's scroll down to that area here, and let's just change this on the fly. So let's go awesome component demo, and then let's save that. So when I select that, you can see automatically that has updated and enhanced this these views on the fly. So it allows me to do hot module reloading and testing directly within the site. Now, what else? Because this is all being built with things like Astro.js, is at the moment this is just a svelte site that you can see that I've pulled together as a playground. But what you're going to be able to do is, one, you're going to be able to first of all publish this, so editors can then create the sites very quickly. And this is designed to enable editors to create progressive web apps that they want to automatically deploy to, for example, an app store, and get that to pull the progressive web app or from a site, or maybe you want to create a trusted web application or a compiled progressive web app that you can deploy to the iStore. This is what this is going to allow you to do. So editors can come in, they can customize settings and the way in which this site looks and works directly from this platform. Testers can also come in and check the components, check the props, make sure that they're happy and configure it. They can also check and interact with the site itself and make sure that's working. And then also we have the ability to allow developers the ability to develop these components that are testing directly into OCM and allow them to become drag and droppable components. So if I go into this component view, we'll go to the custom area, and if we take the site header, for example, we'll put that site header in. There's another component. Let's put this input component, which auto generates. And again, if I click on the custom settings, just as before, this is automatically generated on the fly, and we can change things very easily. Again, navigation at the moment here is being generated by this nav structure here. So you'll see that it's got a submenu underneath it, which is the test page, which it links out to. So anything else that I've missed? I think that's pretty much... Oh, so all of these components are associated with a theme. So generally the CSS is all built in and compiled as part of the theme. So components are related to a theme, and this basically makes it a lot lighter. Now the technology we're using as part of this is called Tailwind, and Tailwind will basically see what's on the page and will generate only the CSS that's required. And as part of that, we also have the theming capability that allows us to quickly and easily skin these components on the fly. I've shown you the drag and drop interface, the module reloading, the canvas experience where you can drag and drop this around, the integrated OCM experience. So let's just quickly talk about that again. Let's go back to the homepage. Now, what essentially that allows me to do, remember when the embedded UI flips across, is components like this. I can point to different assets, and based off the content within the asset, it will automatically update the content and bring that content into the component and generate it on the fly. And then there's one more thing that I can't show you today, but I'll show you in another post, is SEO. So things that are unfortunately limited with the site builder is, I guess you could go into the site page and the props, and you could add in your custom SEO, like open graph data. But I wanted to simplify that and basically expose the metadata that's coming from OCM and allow that auto generation or customization capabilities that will allow you to kind of configure and do that. So similarly to, I don't know if you've ever played with this interface, it's the Ghost CMS, and it's what I use to build my blog on. But essentially, if you slide out this settings panel, for each of the blog posts that I can create, I get this ability to add like these additional SEO capabilities. And so what you're going to do is, if you want to put a Twitter card or whatever, Facebook card, you'll get those capabilities automatically within the solution or the site that's being built. So that's it. If you're interested in trying this, please feel free to reach out to me, and I can let you play with it. Give me your thoughts. If you're a React developer, Svelte developer, or Vue developer, you will be able to use this to create your components, create your sites, and push out straight to OCM. And hopefully it'll make things a lot easier and faster to develop sites on top of Oracle Content Management. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed this post. Thank you.